with you. If you're self-employed, if you're a family farmer, you need to have the same benefit that folks who are employed have. And so so there are, and by the way, I'm working with 7 Democrats, 7 Republicans. We've contacted both presidential candidates, and we're urging them, come back, when you come back in January, February, and March, let us put together a package that really ultimately solves this problem for Americans. We're capable of doing it. We really are. The only difference is the difference between me and what Mr. Franken represents, the major difference. There are some, even if you look at the McCain-Obama thing, there are some core things that I think people believe about. Portability, focus on prevention, use of medical technology, which would save about $70-something billion a year. The difference is whether the government controls it, or whether in fact you keep your own health care. For those who don't have it, have an opportunity for a tax credit to use it for health care. In other words, those who can't afford, we get a credit to be used to get health care. Oh, absolutely. And I really believe that's something we can get done. I think we need to kind of pull us back together right now, and that's an issue we can do it. The line we can't draw is we can't put government, we cannot go the route of what the Canadians have done, what the Brits have done. And there were stories about in Britain where, because what happens then, if the government's doing it, first of all, it's not efficient. Second of all, you drive away doctors. Medicare pays 50 cents on the dollar. One of my great issues is rural health care. We're driving, it's tough enough right now getting folks to practice up here. Okay, it's tough. And if you're going to the only option they can have is to get paid 50 cents on the dollar, they're going to decide not to practice. They'll go where there are large numbers of people to make money. Because they got to, by the way, pay back student loans too. That's one of the problems we're having with getting folks delivering babies and doing general practice. That there's more money to be made in other specialties, so they end up not doing general practice. And by the way, another issue is lawsuits, medical liability. Okay, doctors are not going to practice if they're going to be sued to death, and they're certainly not going to deliver babies, and they're not going to do mental health. Because those are the ones that have liability forever. And so I think we can get it done. I am a passionate, not just a supporter, but I'm working on it. And I think we're close. And we better do it. We better fix it.
I'm concerned with the government taking over as far as our health care, but also having it attainable. It's just not affordable. Even the concern, even having the insurance and us in control of it, is still making it obtainable.
There are three legs to the stool. I had a stool here. One is access. They got to have a docs. They got to do it. They got to be able to get into the system. The other is quality. The quality is a factor here. We don't focus enough on that. We pay docs now for procedures, not for quality. You're not rewarded for quality. It's one of my frustrations with teachers. We don't reward them for quality. And the third stool is affordability. You know, one of the issues, and I'm getting more to the detail here, but let me just give you one other example before I finish here. On the affordability, one of the things that makes it unaffordable are all the mandates that we have. So we mandate every single health policy covers 60 different conditions. And what happens is if you try to, and so that's everything. So any policy, I got a 22-year-old son, just graduated college. He's no longer covered under my plan. I've got to get him health care. And he's got to have a policy that covers everything from gastric bypass to, I can't even tell you the procedures. And you try to take away, you try to approach the issue of health care. I know folks have seen the ads. There's a third district race for Jim Ramsed's seat, and there's a very powerful commercial against Eric Paulson as the Republican candidate. And the powerful commercial is a woman, very tough, determined, running. You know, I'm a cancer survivor. Eric Paulson wants to take away my coverage. He wants the insurance company, and I'm not going to let him do it. It's very powerful. What she's saying is, what Eric Paulson is saying, he's not going to take away cancer coverage. He's not going to take away coverage for juvenile diabetes. But I think what he's saying is what the Mayo Clinic is saying, is we have to look at if you ever want to get affordable health insurance, you have to be able to have it mandate right, basic policy, so that you can get coverage. And if folks want the extra coverage, they can. But in that basic coverage, you'll cover cancer, no question. You'll cover breast cancer. What the Mayo has said is, let us go to the National Institute of Science. okay? Outside independent group. And let them decide what you need in the basic coverage. What are the 10 most, common conditions that we need to face? Cancer is going to be one of them. Breast cancer will be one of them. Juvenile B's will be one of them. But, maybe gastric bypasses won't be.